everyone. This is sort of the official online welcome to English 95X. So I wanted to take a few minutes and just guide you around our Canvas course, show you where things are, how to find things, some of the key places that you want to make sure and pay attention to. So right now I have the screen set to your view, so the student view. So this is exactly what you're going to see when you're logged into Canvas, okay? So a couple of really important things about the way our class is set up. First of all, every time you come in at the beginning of the week, you should always click on this checklist. And in fact, I would recommend actually printing this out, not even just having it on the computer, because this is literally where you can see each and every assignment that you need to do. And besides the actual assignments, you will also see a list of estimated time. So how long is it going to take to do the discussion? How long is it going to take to complete the understanding the reading process activity? So this is really a guide that you're going to want to pay close attention to. When you're navigating Canvas, just a side note, don't ever worry if you click on something and it's not what you want. In fact, I would recommend that you click around on Canvas this first day, first week, really become familiar with what all the buttons do. You can always just click the back button or log out and come back in. There isn't anything in here that you can mess up by clicking on the wrong thing. So once you've taken a look at that checklist each week, again, that's like a really, really key element. Where you will find all the work to complete is literally underneath of that. So it says week 1, July 2nd through July 9th. That is the week, okay, our first week. So you'll see there's two different due dates, work due by 7/6, work due by 7/9. I always set the deadline right at midnight, so you have up until through the evening, just in case you have jobs or other things that you have going on this summer. And then what you'll do is with each task, so each piece, you want to click on it. This first one is going to give you the syllabus and the course information as far as just more in depth than what I'm covering in this video. And then there's going to be a brief quiz that you need to take. So make sure that when you're in these assignments that everything that is posted is there for a reason. So unless it says optional, make sure that you click on and read everything. There will be times where I provide some optional videos, optional handouts, and it will say optional next to it. If it doesn't say optional, that's something that you want to pay close attention to and make sure that you read through. So once you are in the point of getting sort of past that first quiz, to take the quiz, you just click on the quiz and you'll click the take button. For the discussion this week, you're going to want to look at the general directions, and then when you come and get ready to post, you'll come down here to the reply section. You'll type in your response and then you'll click post. Okay, so a lot of what you do on Canvas, for those of you that are new to Canvas, is somewhat self-explanatory, but having said that, if you ever get stuck, you're not sure how to submit something, please ask, all right? Don't put it off to be like, oh, well, that's a stupid question. No, there is no such thing as a stupid question in this class. I want to make sure that if you are not sure about something, ask about it, all right? There's only 8 weeks. We have a lot to cover in 8 weeks, so I want to make sure that when you're doing your work, you don't feel like it's a tech issue that's getting in your way, right? Technology can be problematic sometimes. So any questions you have about how to navigate that, how to make it work, let me know. Once I post a week, I do not add any assignments to it. So you will see that week 1 is already up. I have not added week 2 or beyond that yet. I will. About week 4, you'll see that I'll open up the entire rest of the term so that if you do want to work ahead on some assignments, you'll absolutely be able to do that. You can always work ahead on reading and quizzes. But again, like once I open a week up, that's what the week is. There isn't going to be adjustments, changes, add-ons, etc. Now, besides the weeks, a couple other things just to point out. Helpful videos. All right, I have some videos posted. I kind of tend to add more depending on what each class needs throughout the term. Same thing with some helpful handouts. These are handouts that I would use in a face-to-face class. I just post them on here so that you have access to them as well. And then along with some helpful links to resources. So really important to make sure that you're using all of this extra assistance and guidance that is on Canvas. Now, a couple other places that I wanted to make sure you're familiar with. Over here in this margin off to the side, off to the left-hand side, you will notice that there is an announcements button. I post an announcement each week. That's where oftentimes I will post some key notes, key things you need to pay attention to. So make sure that you read those announcements. Also, grades. Throughout the term, you will know where your grade is. So if you ever have questions, I will post a video about how to look at your feedback a little bit later on in the term. But make sure that you're getting that out there, that you're asking those, okay? Got to know where you stand throughout the term. And then the tutoring, this links you to how you can access tutoring appointments on the campus, as well as our online tutoring. And any questions that you have about either of those, you're welcome to ask. But I wanted to make sure that you're aware that those are there. There's also a direct link to the library and the Ask a Librarian button. So if you get stuck when you're trying to find something, the Ask a Librarian button is a feature that you can use to help you out, all right? So that's kind of a general overview of our class. Again, I just wanted to sort of walk you through where things are. Biggest thing to remember, this checklist is super important. Pay close attention to that. Don't miss any assignments. The number one way students cannot pass the class is simply by not doing the work. Okay. The number two way is just not following instructions or not reading closely. Really, really important in an online class, even more so than a face-to-face class, to read everything and make sure you understand what's being asked of you. Because if you don't understand, then that could go all wrong in an assignment, and I don't want you putting time and effort into something that isn't what you're actually being asked to do. So that's just a little bit about how the course is set up. The only final things that I will mention is that our class does come, or it has, I shouldn't say it comes, but it has a support class that you can take alongside it. The support class is a 1-credit course. I know some of you are, about half of our class I think is already registered for that support class, which is awesome. But if any of the rest of you are not familiar with it, don't know what it is, I would strongly encourage you to take it. English classes over the summer are hard. They're not easy. And I really want to make sure that you get as much guidance as possible. Later this week, I'm also going to be introducing you to an embedded tutor. So this is a tutor from the Writing Center that's actually going to be able to hang out in our online course this term and offer some assistance and guidance along the way. And then also, of course, you can get in touch with me. I typically respond within 48 hours, and over the summer, if there's a weekend or something where I'm going to be gone or away from my computer, I will always post that as an announcement so that you're aware of it. And finally, last really important key thing, this inbox over here. This is absolutely the best way to contact me, okay? Email works fine too, but the inbox is going to be one of the first things that I check every day. So if you have a question, if you have something you need to contact me about, that is absolutely the best place to do it. I will also send out messages to everyone in class at different times throughout the term as well. In fact, I'll send a message within the next day or two with pictures of the book that you need to buy, just to make sure you get the correct edition. So again, that's a really important place to check. So again, just kind of reminder, you're going to hear me probably send out announcements and reminders about this all term, but always look at that checklist, always look at the announcements, and then always check your inbox. Okay, once I start giving feedback, that's going to be the other thing that you always want to take a look at. But to start off with, just remember checklist. And again, the checklist that I post where it'll say week 1 checklist, click here, that's where you want to click. And then announcements and the inbox. If you have any questions to get started, if you're not sure how to do something, again, please don't hesitate to contact me. And if not, I look forward to working with you this term, and have a wonderful first week of classes.